Some songs are more than just music. They are places you can visit in your mind. They have a distinct atmosphere, a feeling that lingers long after the final note has faded. The Eagles' monumental track, Hotel California, is one such song. It arrived in the mid-70s as a 6.5-minute cinematic mystery etched into vinyl. From its opening acoustic arpeggios, it pulls you into a story that feels both familiar and deeply strange. It speaks of warm desert winds, a mission bell, but it leads the listener into a place of shadows and secrets, a place from which there seems to be no escape. The immediate and colossal fame of the song only deepened its enigmatic quality. It was a fixture on car radios, a staple of late-night gatherings, the soundtrack to a generation grappling with the end of a certain kind of idealism. Everyone knew the tune, and everyone had a theory about what it truly meant. Was it a real hotel? A metaphor for the music industry? A ghost story? The band, supremely talented and famously meticulous, offered clues, but never a simple, definitive answer. They knew the song's power lived in its ambiguity, mirroring the listener's thoughts about success, excess, and the American dream. This film journeys back to the time of the song's creation, exploring how it was made and the world from which it emerged. It is a story of creative sparks, painstaking studio craft, and the cultural climate of 1970s California. We'll meet the individuals who built this musical landmark, piece by piece, and examine how people have tried to unlock its meaning over decades. The song is not a simple riddle with a single solution. It captured a moment so perfectly that it became timeless, its mystery as potent today as when it first appeared. Its power lies in the balance of the specific and the universal. A vivid narrative emerges: traveller, sanctuary, and the slow realization of entrapment. Every great song begins with a spark. The initial idea for Hotel California was not a flash of words, but a quietly compelling musical figure. It began in a rented beach house in Malibu. Guitarist Don Felder was idly experimenting, recording ideas onto a basic 4-track cassette machine. A particular progression emerged on a warm afternoon with a faint Latin hue, played on a 12-string cyclical haunting, instantly memorable. Felder refined it: bass movement, a simple beat for spine, and layers of interlocking guitar voices. The result was a complete musical sketch, mapping the journey from gentle intro to driving sections. He compiled it on a tape, among a dozen-plus fragments. The tape sat for a while, until one track stood out to Don Henley. He kept returning to a demo the band jokingly nicknamed for its rhythm and chords. To him, the music felt cinematic. It suggested a story. He told Felder it could be significant, different from what they'd done before. Henley's advocacy elevated the demo into a blueprint. This was their process, a relay of inspiration rather than a solo sprint. Felder offered the landscape, then it moved to Henley and to Glenn Frey, who would build a narrative and populate the world with meaning. The cassette was fertile ground, the band its architects and builders. With Felder's instrumental foundation, the task of words fell primarily to Don Henley, with significant contributions from Glenn Frey. Ready to make a grander artistic statement, they chose to address the strange, surreal world they inhabited, an allegory about the dark side of the American dream, seen through Los Angeles. The epicenter of fame, fortune, temptation. They envisioned it as a movie in the mind, a weary traveller, a shimmering light ahead, a place of surface luxury concealing darker truths. Symbolic details filled this imagined hotel. With lyrics in place, the band convened at a legendary studio in Miami, a room famed for records that shaped an era. For this song, the studio itself became an instrument. Alongside producer Bill Shimchick, they leaned into analog craft, building a rich soundscape layer by layer on 24 tracks. It was slow and painstaking, intensely hands-on. Each part recorded with care, including the 12-string routed through a Leslie for that shimmering liquid texture. An unusual choice that set a subtly eerie tone. The rhythm section laid a firm, unhurried pulse that never crowded the guitars. Shimchick was both technician and guide, choosing microphones, experimenting with placement. No undo, only dedication and takes. The discipline is palpable in the final track. Piece by piece, a sonic jigsaw took shape. The final mix, manual, musical, and meticulous. The Eagles were a powerhouse of distinct talents. Together, they made something greater than the sum of parts. Each role was essential to the masterpiece. Don Henley drove the track on drums and lead vocal, a firm, unhurried pulse beneath the melodies. His voice, weary experience, cool and observant. Glenn Fry, the conceptual architect and harmony anchor, shaped narrative flow and acoustic texture. The guitars, Don Felder's precision and Joe Walsh's grit, defined the sound. Randy Meisner's bass line sang beneath, tying harmony to motion. That chemistry made every part click, a collective vision delivered with exacting detail. The extended outro is a composed duet, not a display of excess. Over 2 minutes of carefully mapped dialogue between guitars, arranged by the guitar team with input from the producer and band. The fade-out feels like driving away, echoes trailing in the dark. Every line and harmony served the story. Distinct tones, placed left and right, converse and converge. Precision meets edge, creating dynamic tension across the instrumental arc. Recorded live, feeding off each other's energy. The mix gives each voice its space, then locks them as one. Longing, frustration, resignation, then a soaring release, returning to the cycle. The story never quite ends. To understand the song, you must understand its time and place. California was the center of the music and film industries, a magnet for dreamers, artists and entrepreneurs. 60s idealism gave way to ambition, commercial success and opulence. The scene was booming. Bands selling millions, playing to vast arenas, a golden age. Beneath the glitter, a darker reality. Pressure mounted, pitfalls multiplied, money bred excess, lavish habits, an inescapable social carousel. Artistic freedom began to feel like a trap. Innocence slipped. Isolation deepened. From its release, the song sparked a national guessing game. Evocative, elusive lines demanded interpretation, and theories multiplied. The band never offered a single answer, turning the track into a cultural Rorschach. Some swore it named a real place, others spun haunted tales. Still others linked it to institutions in metaphor. The band's own framing, not a building, but a state of mind and a lifestyle. A grounded reading sees an allegory of the LA music business. Check in as a deal. Can't leave as pressure and contracts. In the end, it supports many readings, your meaning in its corridors. Its success was immediate. Its legacy, larger still. It quickly wove into popular culture. A mood, an era, a set of ideas. Filmmakers invoke its sun-drenched dread and glamour gone wrong, capturing the dark side of the California dream. Musicians studied its harmonized lines and cinematic structure. It proved long, intricate tracks could still become classics. A perennial on radio, a generational touchstone passed down like a keepsake while new ears discover it daily. Debates continue. Mystery alive in a digital age. It endures because it works on many levels at once. A ghost story, social critique, and private reflection, held in one song. Decades on, Hotel California stands as a landmark in popular music. Not just a hit single, but a complex work of art that defined a band, captured an era, and continues to fascinate. It fuses storytelling, vocal blend, and instrumental prowess. Proof that commercial rock could be ambitious, literary, and thematically rich. Its enduring mystery is its strength, a shared space for interpretation, an ever-inviting puzzle. The hotel stays open, meanings shift, allure remains. A masterclass in recording, human artistry, and analog craft. More than a song about a place, it became a place in itself. Beautiful, mysterious, unforgettable. Tonight, we checked in at a myth and checked out with a memory. From a riff on a reel to a room you can never leave, we followed the fingerprints. Writers, players, engineers who built a feeling as much as a song. We heard the harmonies breathe, the solos speak, and the stories keep the doors open. If this journey hit the right chord, tap subscribe, ring the bell, and leave your own reading of the lyrics below. Your theories are the echo that keeps these halls alive. Thank you for riding shotgun down this 1970s highway with us. Headlights on, windows down, radio glowing. Until the next deep dive, be well, play it loud, and we'll meet you just beyond the neon, where the music never quite fades. Every great song has a story, and few stories are more mysterious than the one behind Hotel California. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the Stories Behind the Songs for more music history, classic rock stories, and the moments behind the songs we still love today. Thanks for watching.